Hi everyone. Very quickly, there's a 7-second gap at the beginning, and this is a quite a long one, but I think you'll enjoy listening. Hello, welcome to the guest show. Special one. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's our Christmas guest show. And no, I haven't got Santa Claus, but I've got something just as better. I was hoping to get a few people, only one person. Well, a few people I didn't put the invite to, but the one person I hoped to come on hasn't come on. But I've got the wonderful Nicola Tennant, who in January will be talking about her incredible app. So I've instructed her not to mention the app because she is app addicted, as I said before, even in recording. Thank you for coming, Nicola.
Ho, ho, ho.
There we are, you see. Yeah, there she is wearing her Santa Claus outfit, but she hasn't got the beard. Today, ladies and gentlemen, a slightly different reason. I was an actor. For those who don't know, I might have mentioned it before. And I'm a writer. And in acting, you might have heard the actor always says, "What's my motivation?" And I'm always interested. Two questions when I meet people who are working. I ask, do they enjoy their job? And most people I say do, although I do have a side story. I had a friend, I ran an improv theatre company for a couple of years. I had a friend of mine who worked for Dagenham Council. He once said to me, "Ian, how can you do this? You're earning nothing." I was earning just about enough to survive from the shows. I have to have a job because I have to go out he went out. He was great at career. He was what they call a physical comedian. If you imagine John Cleese, that sort of thing. Although I'm a verbal comedian. But he had to, and for him, he hated his job. And I must admit, apart from one job in all my life, I did for a very short time. I loved everything I did. So I'm going to ask Nicola. Nicola, why don't you tell the other things you do apart from the thing that cannot be mentioned?
Well, I mentor people. So basically, I mentor people that ask me to mentor them. I don't push that service onto people, and it's basically about you having somebody that's broken and bringing them to their potential. And the people that I've helped over the years, they're all flying high. They're all doing very well. They all still contact me, let me know what's going on in their lives and how they're helping people, you know, and the people that they've took on to mentor and who they are mentoring, it's an ongoing, you give a bit of goodness and it spreads.
Like your grandchildren.
I don't
Yeah.
have grandchildren
Well,
just
you know
yet.
what I mean. That's like
Yeah, yeah.
I can relate with that. I have somebody I mentored she was an assessor, and over COVID we became friends because
Yeah. You do become friends.
I believe in professional boundaries.
Mm.
And I know now she runs creative writing groups, and she contacts me occasionally. I'm going to a wedding next year. If she says, "Lisa, I'm looking forward to it." But occasionally I phone her out, so I haven't talked to her for a while. And then the first half hour is like she's sharing all the things she's done, which
Yeah.
are amazing, because
But I think, when for me, when I look back to where I come from and what I've gone through and all those, a lot of it traumatic life experiences, the only person I had was myself, you know, to get out of these situations. And sometimes I used to love getting myself into situations just to see if I could. I used to love trying different things, for instance, like different drugs, you know, just to see if I can get myself out of it. You know, me. dangerous people just to see if I can come out of it alive, and I always did. A lot of my close friends that know me like through and through turn around and say, whatever, Nick, you can find yourself in a pile of shit, but you'll always come up smelling of roses. And it's true. But I think a lot of it is the mentality that from your life experiences that bring you to a pinnacle where you have to say, enough's enough. Now's my time to be able to give that experience as gifts. This is what I do. It's a gift. So me helping somebody, me mentoring somebody is a gift that I'm giving to that person. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, you know. Some people I've mentored for 2 years, some I've mentored for 6 months. But the gift for me, what I get in return is what they're doing to help somebody. What difference are they making? But some people, you know, it, it becomes a problem because ego gets involved. Money, they want to deal with money, and I think, what have I created? Have I created a monster, basically? But it's still life experiences, and I still do it. It's like I've not yet met a person that I haven't been able to mentor.
Well, maybe what it is like I've got, I think I mentioned before, I've got a qualification in peer mentoring.
But who cares about that?
I do, because it
I
means
know you do.
more qualifications. I got loads of full-time trained as a counsellor. And when I went to this qualification, when we went to the initial class, I said to the tutor, this is similar to counselling without the therapeutic side of it, maybe.
Yeah.
And it says nothing like, and it is nothing like counselling, really, although I brought some of my skills as a counsellor to it.
Mentoring is about listening.
Yeah, but why do you do it?
Why? It gives me a thrill to be able to do it because I know it's infectious. I mean, years and years ago, when I got out of the situation, the last really bad situation that I was in, I was at my breaking point, to the stage where I hid myself between a toilet block and a hedge, and I tried to kill myself. And I woke up, and then I screamed and screamed and screamed at God, the moon, whatever, just in the sky. And then I just got up, brushed myself down, and got on with shit, you know. And it's about, I never want to see anybody um, to go through what I went through, but everybody has a breaking point that they need to reach to be able to get to the pinnacle of who they are. It's not about what help you can get, it's about what can you do for yourself, and when you find you can do things for yourself, you don't need anybody else. And so to find other people that I've never found really anybody that with the same mindset as what I've got, because I'm similar, but not to the stage where I am now. And I get great pleasure in somebody coming to me that is broken, and I know that they can get through it if they just listen. If they listen and act on what's said, you don't need no life experiences is the only thing you need to be able to help somebody else. Everybody can help. So it's about not being selfish as a person. We're all put here for a reason. And my reason is to do what I can to make life easier for somebody else, or give them the tools to make life easier for themselves.
I think that makes more sense, because I must admit, I'm into language, as you know.
Yeah.
And the word broken doesn't, it's It's
Doesn't really exist.
experience their journey.
It is
Their
their
life
journey.
is not like you said quite rightly. Like if we talk about homelessness, we've both been on the street.
Yeah,
Our experience of on the streets are different, totally.
totally different.
Because of man or woman, because of what happens.
But it's not just that. It's when I was in the streets, the culture of the homeless was completely different. We we found our own tools to survive. You know, we hustled, we bustled, but we found our own tools to survive because there wasn't really that much help there. So
Mm.
you either do or die situations. Um, these days, maybe it's wrong for me to say, but people are given so much on a plate that they don't know how to help themselves, even though they've got the life experience to be able to. But people today just seem stuck. There's no outside the box thinking. There is no there is no instead of outside the box thinking, there is no what can I do with this box?
I'm going to share something with you, and maybe this is what you mean by it. Okay. I must admit, if not for the handouts, I probably wouldn't survive.
Mm,
I'm not really much of a hustler. It was a good place to go on a diet. I'll tell you what, being on the street was a great place to go on a diet.
you know,
But I always remember on Saturday evening, about 6, near the temple with this handout, giving sandwiches out. Now, they didn't give one or two sandwiches. You got a big pack of sandwiches they were giving the people.
yeah,
And I remember I got there one day and I got my sandwich and I thought everybody went off afterwards because they were off to another handout. And that was enough for me.
well,
If I had two sandwiches now and I have one for my breakfast. And the bloke come along, I'm like, I said, go on, take over my sandwich. No, not, but I remember a friend of mine, I think I'll say his name because I don't really ever hear this. He's one of the few people I respected. He was what they call entrenched rough sleeper. Ladies and gentlemen, that means he will not get off the street. He was an ex-sailor, Scots bloke. Davey was his name. I liked him.
yeah,
He was one of the few people I saw him. If I had tobacco, I'd ultimately give him a cigarette because he had nothing.
yeah,
I remember one day I bumped into him I must be in the Sunday I bumped into him because I saw him at the temple.
mm,
He says, so angry at him. I said, what are you angry about? I said, well, I was walking back to my skip. Skip, ladies and gentlemen, is the phrase where you sleep. Because
mm.
in the old days, I even knew a bloke who actually slept in the skips when I was in Whitechapel, you know.
Yeah, I used to go through Cardboard City and I think I'm not sleeping there.
I don't know. And he said, as he's walking back to his skip, the rule, and a lot of people said they never tell where you slept because somebody might want it. Yeah, didn't bother me. Sandwiches all strewn all over across the street.
It's terrible.
From that, he said, why don't they, and there were. Yeah, I remember another side story. In Lincoln's Inn, there was a handout that was giving out clothing. Now, I didn't want anything because try and carry as light as you could. This bloke was stuffing for a shopping bag full of stuff, including women's dresses. I just said to my mate, he's out there selling. Yeah, surviving, yeah.
You know, but like, because, I mean, how I got, I mean, I was a child runaway. So,
Sorry?
I mean, at the time, back then, my first time on the streets and that, I was a child runaway, you know, so I couldn't use any of the services.
How old were you? How old were you?
14.
Okay.
I couldn't, I couldn't use any of the services, so I didn't. So I used to watch the hustlers on the streets, how they used to make their money. That's how I learned. Some of them like took me under their wing, you know, and so we all used to hustle. I used to hustle. I just got very good at it. And now I hustle for the good reasons, not because I'm homeless. So, you know,
What do you mean you hustle? What sort of things do you hustle? Explain.
um, what back then or now?
But now you hustle. Yeah, now you're hustling.
Now I'm hustling, right? Say for instance, I'm mentoring somebody and they've got a lot of problems. They've got, don't know where to start. I will make sure straight away. I will hustle to make sure they have money. I will teach them how to hustle to get the money. I will hustle. I will teach them how to hustle to get the food. I will teach them how to hustle to get accommodation. I will teach them how to hustle to use the services. I will teach them what it means to be a hustler.
That interests me now. I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah, go on.
I'm your mentee.
Yeah,
All right. I need money, Nicola. How do I get money?
right. So, depending if you are on universal credit, if you can get universal credit, for instance, or you don't want to be on, say, for instance, you don't want to be on universal credit,
Yeah.
the first thing I will do is because it's all about information. What information is available, right? How can you get money? Well, there's places like the Vicarage Trust. You know, there's plenty of um, charities like that just deal with money. So we call them trusts. Yeah, there's plenty of trusts that will help somebody, right, with money. So you target those, don't you?
Well, that's it. Yeah, because when you said it, of course, my mind think the illegal way to get money.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It is legal, isn't it? Because it's
Yeah,
that's
well,
what
you're
it's there
saying the
for.
legal way. I thought all of a sudden, am I going to find a way to break into my bank?
No, 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 no. But it's, you know, but back in the day, it used to be all illegal. I used to do illegal hustling. But with life experiences, I've learned and information, I've learned to turn that around. So to hustle can mean a lot. Hustle yourself out of a situation where saying you've got no money. Well, there's the options. This is how you do. You don't know how to fill a funding form, so you can hustle that money. Well, this is how you do it. The information is there. That's what Google's for. you know, so you start with that.
But people, well, as some who used to teach IT, and we did do. I should explain. We weren't doing a qualification course.
No.
We were introducing them to how to use computers. Although there's one guy, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, who creates this beautiful website full of photographs. We taught him how to do that,
Yeah.
but also how to do a proper search, which is like my friend who might be listening to this, the man who shall not be named.
We
Right.
have one of them.
I remember he phoned me up one day. And I'm going to say this story, and he'll know this story. I'd left Cardboard Citizens, the theatre company.
Mm.
And this is about a year later. He says, Ian, they're looking for a CEO. Why don't you go for it? Well, number one, I know, although I have lots of qualification and knowledge, there are certain things I couldn't do.
Mm.
Number two, they just appointed a CEO 6 months ago. I'd met.
Mm.
He was insistent.
Yeah.
You've got to apply, isn't it? And I said to him, what date is this advert you're saying? It was a year before when they were looking. And research, that's why research is so important. You put in loads of things. I do a lot of communication with, the press offices at
Yeah.
housing departments. I wasn't getting an answer. And originally I was going to put in, I spoke to somebody, Shannon, who was a few weeks ago about, because at the HBP consultancy, they do a lot of freedom of information acts. I was going to put that in.
Mm.
You can put that in if you have reason to, and you feel there is something that's published.
Mm.
So and I found a number of the phone who could advise me from the department, and he told me rules that feel stupid. But they're rules. You've got to obey them.
You've got to word it right. You've got to say the right things.
Well,
It's
it wasn't that. They said to me, if you put something in writing, and normally I'm used to to press offices, put my questions down. I put a deadline date
Mm.
for the questions. But this was a document that had already been published. So I thought, no need. All I've got to do is find the document and send it to me. But it's now, from the recording of this,
Yeah.
it's 8 days. So I phoned up today because I was really getting annoyed. I wanted that information.
Yeah.
And now you told me it takes 20 days,
I
20
know.
working days, which is
They fob you off, you know.
hmm.
You know, it's like, and also what I find is, you know, if you're gonna hustle, when you hustle, you look that person in the eye, you're hustling. Be it, you know, for the good. But we're gonna say just for the good because my past is my past, really. I thrive on the experiences that I've had on my past, even though they were negative. But I find now that I've switched my mindset and I do still hustle every single day, but I hustle for the good, right?
You hustle on the right side of the law, let's
Yeah,
say.
basically. And it's all about looking people in the eye. It's about your body language. It's about the words you say. It's about, you know,
Hmm.
having a way, letting that other person think you're their best friend and they're going away and they're thinking of all the things you said and all the but it can be it can happen. But the thing is, you know, people say to me, "Oh, why don't you charge for what you do?" And I'm like, "Well, because it's priceless. There is no price." You know, I go, I would love, don't get me wrong, I would love to have a paid job within the charity sector, but I'm I'm too with I don't have your bits of paper qualifications, and I won't sit an exam. I won't. There's no way I will. I won't even write a CV. You either want me to come work for you or you don't. It's a yes or
Yeah.
a no. Maybe that's a bit arrogant of me, but you know, I would love to be able to be in a paid job.
Well, if ever you want a CV, I can help you write one. All right. And I'll only charge you £100 a second.
I would love a paid job within the charity. Really would, and I know I would be good at it.
I
But
know that for me, if I share about me, I'm as you know me a few years now, I'm a person who likes sharing information.
yeah,
When you said about not getting paid, when I was doing healing years ago,
yeah,
a lot of people says you don't get paid for this. And I couldn't say so. I actually also did tarot readings on these camps, and I get donations. It might be £5,
yeah,
or a drink or something. It didn't matter to me. But it was this thing of also I'm doing so. Okay. I'm going to talk about this on the January my dreams of this podcast, which I will need money for because this podcast is funded out of my pocket. And
yeah.
thank God it's not a lot.
Say with the thing that you won't let me mention.
Same thing you no, this is the thing that I can talk about mine, you can't, and I can't talk about mine totally. So I'm going to be talking about next week. But I understand about because one of the guys who's been on a podcast is now working in a centre. Very nice guy. Looking forward to working there. And he's saying about how disgusted he is with the system. And I said, it's the system that's stopping you, not what you want to do.
I think it's confidence as well that stops. I think a lot of ways, because like a few years back, I think about 5, 6 years ago, I applied for a job for the you know, the musicians that do homeless, they do choirs all over the world and stuff like that for
Mm.
homeless. I applied for a job to work for them, um, and I found for me, even though I went for the job, I even went up to London to go for the interview and everything. I didn't have the confidence. This is why I'm not paid for what. This is why I do what I do without getting paid, because I just don't feel that, even though I've got a lot to offer, I don't have that confidence
I
to
think it's a
be
single point.
paid for what I do.
Yeah, it's what you said before, the piece of paper. I've got loads of piece of paper.
No.
But even when I got my associate, I wasn't. I want to use it to share the knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, my school education ended at the age of 9.
But you're lucky. Mine was the 1700s. I do know that one of my job, I worked for a job in the 80s. There was a thing called job clubs,
I remember that.
and I first one did a placement when I was doing my counselling, and I worked there. And nowadays they do have job clubs. They're voluntary, and I don't think they're not the same standard.
No.
And one of my roles was mock interviews.
Mm.
I took on 2 roles. I gave a lecture about the equal opportunities laws at the time to make people aware of it, and job interviews, which from the acting communications, all about that. And the tricks, like example, can be is where we were as a young Asian community. For a woman to look a man in their eyes was totally wrong.
Mm.
So in the end, I said, look, you've got to look at the person's face.
You have
Great
to.
sign between, up above, just above their forehead.
The third eye.
Yeah, their third eye, call it there. And look at that and smile. It's like you're looking at them. Because you look away, people distrust. Little tricks I learned over the years.
Yeah.
But it is this thing of confidence, as you said before.
It is confidence. It's, if you're gonna, like, as I am with everybody, like as everybody else is, I'm struggling financially. I've got a lot on my plate, like everybody else. But when I put my hustling head on, I'm coming out of this a winner. And that is a great big confidence boost at the end of the
But
day.
also, do you ever find, now I know me, okay, like you, I'm struggling
Yeah.
at the moment. I'm down to my last million, a little bit difficult. But one thing, like example can be, is when I'm mentoring somebody, I have what they call there's rules.
Yes.
Okay. And it's like I always say, when I was teaching, I used to teach a group of pre-counselors, decided if they were capable of doing the course. And I would say to them, what you do is think about what you're there for.
Yeah.
Because in counselling, it's a lot of money. I wish I was, I wish I had the facilities to do it. I'd be a fortune. Therapy is a fortune. I know this writer. She'd been 6 years with the same therapist. To me, that's not
too long. That's therapist decided it's failing or just doing it for the money.
That's why I said to the students, are you there for the client? But also you've got to realize it's like I have a couple of rules in my life. I meet lots of different types of people. Some you'd like, some you definitely would not like.
Yeah.
We both met those sort of people.
Yeah.
And to me is, okay, I admit, I don't judge them.
No, you can't judge people when you're mentoring. You have to let people grow and make their own mistakes.
Mm.
And if they come, you can watch their mistakes and you have to stand back and watch them fall. And it's me personally, when I'm not hustling people, when I'm mentoring people, I personally visualize a hanging rope in my head,
Sorry?
like a hanging rope in my head. Like that's what I'm visualizing. That's what I visualize straight away. And when it comes to how many times do I let them hang themselves before I go, this is what you should have done it this way. You know, I have people that try, they think they can hustle me. And it's like I see the hustle before they've even thought of it. You know, I'm not someone you can hustle. People have tried, yes, they have, but I can honestly turn around and say I've always come up.
But maybe what we call mentoring, me and you call
Yeah.
mentoring, is different.
Well,
Okay, let me tell you what I feel mentoring is from what I learned, and this is what I would do anyway.
mm,
I was asked by I was members rep coordinator at Cardboard.
yeah,
So I was, any advocacy work fell to me because no one wanted to learn advocacy
no,
to train them. And I'm an experienced advocate. But one of my reps came up to me and said, can I represent him? I said, what's it about? And he said, well, the council have taken my child. I want you to represent me there.
mm,
And straight away, the warning signs come up.
yeah,
And I said to him, no, I can't because I don't know enough about the law in that section.
no.
I
But
think,
then what I would have said is, but I know somebody who has.
yeah, I know nobody. Yeah. I didn't even know you then. Long ago. But also, what I feel is a mentor doesn't give advice.
No,
Now, it sounds like in some cases you were given advice.
not so. No, no, because it's about for me when I'm mentoring somebody, you've got to be able to see straight away if their heart's in it.
Mm.
If their heart is in it, you're not wasting your time. Um, they're like I've managed to the people, thank God, that I have mentored. I haven't had one that's failed yet. Yes, they've made mistakes, but they're mistakes you have to allow for them to grow. You know, it's not about judging, it's not about money, it's not about nothing. It's a way of life because
Mm.
everybody hustles everybody at the end of the day. Everybody has that in them. It's being able to listen and tap into what they're saying between the lines. If you can tap into what somebody's talking to you about between the lines, then you're going to be successful. You're going to be successful no matter what that person you're mentoring is doing, going through, because they'll always come back and say, I've done this. Could I, I need some advice on this. I will give advice because my life experiences, even if you're making the biggest mistake ever, I have too, but I know how to get out of that mistake.
See, there's what I want to say to you. The reason I won't give advice is people said, what should I do in this situation?
Mm,
And I said, I already know the answer. That's how I would handle the situation.
yeah,
These people are not me. So what I tried to engender solutions from them and then look at ways it could be done.
yeah. It's also about treating people how you would like to be treated.
True. Well, I try to treat everybody with respect,
Yeah,
unless they support that certain football team. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't talk sport on this.
and I don't do football.
Friend who's going to come on okay, but it's looking for the appropriate response.
Yes.
That's my reason for not giving actual what I do in this situation.
Mm.
Is how I would handle it. But it's looking maybe to another thing. I think you are as a mentor is you can be a role model.
You can. But you know what? Being a role model is very hard
Mm.
because if you mess up, everybody says never meet your hero.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah, but you are a hero, aren't you?
I'd like to think so. To the people that I've touched in my life to help, yes, I am, and I'm sure I am.
Well, I've known Nicola, don't know how long, it must be 5 years.
Yeah, coming up to 6.
Yeah, some prison sentences are shorter.
I know, right?
And I must admit, at first, I won't say why, she knows why I contacted her for an article. And she gave me the reason. I respect people's decisions. But knowing her over the years, she's one amazing person. Not as amazing as me, so don't get your big head up, Nicola.
Oh, I got a big
All
head.
right. But, you know, we come to the end, unfortunately. There's so much to talk about. But it's this thing of mentoring. So somebody wants a mentor,
Yeah.
okay, and they're nowhere near you, all right?
Yeah.
How would you say they could find one?
Well, obviously, first initial thing is to ring me on the phone number, which we will give out on the next one.
Yeah.
And normally, what would happen then is I would travel down to wherever that person is.
She's been to Antarctic once. Actually, there's somebody who's coming on next year. I won't mention her name. Who, when I went to the talk, I'm going to say the story. Nicola phoned me up one day. Well, we were speaking on the phone one day. Says, I'm giving a talk in the Isle of Dogs about bleed kits. I never told her this. I thought, what the bloody hell is a bleed kit? But I never asked those sort of questions because I thought it'd be obvious when I get there. The story was not bleed kits. And that lady has come, and that lady stood and said, our Public Support UK, which is what you call your thing, which should not be mentioned, but it's you really,
Yeah.
has supported her.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that woman is.
Very high now. And not only that, the most extreme places I've been to go and mentor somebody is out at sea.
Is that like sailor guy you were talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope this is homeless at sea. I became aware of homeless at sea, and they contacted me, and I literally went out to sea, 30 miles out from Brighton, um, to mentor and support them. Now it's flying high.
Yeah, well, I remember you telling me about how good it was, how you were going to sail in the world.
Well, can I just give you an update?
Yeah, sure.
I've now got my skipper's license.
Really?
Yeah, I passed it eventually. Also crew. I've got my crew. I can be qualified.
Could be a skipper and a crew at the same time.
Well, I wouldn't be at the same time, but I could literally be in charge of my own boat and have crew and make sure they do their job. I can be a sea dog.
We always no, please, they don't have sea dogs, but pirates. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to ask this question. I've already asked her afterwards. What sort of craft can you skipper?
I can do a yacht. Well, I learned on a yacht,
You can do sail and
deep sea yacht. Basically, I can skipper any boat. So even like P&O, I could actually be a skip. I'm sure I can be a skipper on there too.
maybe King Charles will contact you
You
to.
never know. You never know. I did get asked to go and skipper a boat. Was about a few years back by a famous artist, which I can't mention, that was helping out at sea. But I wasn't quite qualified because I've only just only a year ago I completed. But I had it all paid for. I didn't pay for any of my course, for any of the hours I put out at sea. And I did travel. I was serious about traveling around the UK.
Well, there we are. You see, so we're coming to an end, unfortunately.
Oh, bless you. It goes so quick.
I know it always goes quick.
We can always talk for hours.
Yeah, you could. I know you could. You talk with Great Britain. You and another person's been on this cast can do the same thing. But you both on, I'd have to have a 5 hour.
Can I just quickly say, like I am actually taking a couple of days off. Where? No, no, okay.
Yeah, go on, carry on. I'm just
But
saying, taking a double days off.
now I'm taking a couple of days off. I'm meeting up with my guys down at Hastings, Surviving the Streets UK, and we're going camping for my birthday in the middle of the woods. So that would be fun.
Which woods you going to?
It's near, well, it's down south. It's near a little place called Rye. It's one of the oldest woods in the country.
I remember actually, here's an aside to finish with. I'm a walker. I used to love walk. I can't anymore due to my physical being. It's been about 18. We booked this thing over Christmas, and it was somewhere near Bournemouth, this country house, or what was called a country house. It was a wreck, and we went walking. Now, as some people might know, I smoke. I'm a slow walker anyway.
Yeah.
And this guy turned around to me, one of the guys leading it said to me, "Look, you're too slow. No more cigarettes. You catch up with us." So I turned around and said, "Look, give me a map."
I'll meet you there.
And go myself.
Yeah, I'm a climber. Give me a tree to climb.
Yeah.
Climb it.
So he gave me the map. And the truth is, I never used the map in my life. But I went walking and I thought I was going in the right direction. Next week, I went into a peat bog, almost sank in it, got out of it and found it. I was in the right direction, but I didn't see that peat bog in the place. But I always remember that. But I like walking. Yeah, I can't walk as far as I did nowadays, and I used to miss country walking. You'll have a great Christmas. And finally, as this edition is going out at Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas. Next week,
a ho ho ho.
And Santa Claus is wishing you ho ho ho. She's not come down your chimney. Next week, my special guest is somebody called Ian Calman, who's going to share his story. Very fascinating fellow he is. Thank you very much, Nicola.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.